Do you, as the director of ATF, believe that the federal government should maintain a registry or otherwise track, catalog, keep records of the transactions of firearms conducted by the American people, such that you would know what firearms I possess?
Congress has explicitly forbidden ATF from keeping a registry, and we do not. Again, we obey the law. We don't make the law, we obey it.
Do you, as the director, believe that the federal government should track ownership of firearms among the American people?
Congressman, we follow the law as you put it, as you pass it. You have said we cannot have a registry. We follow that provision and will continue to as long as it's the law.
As the director of ATF, do you have a position on that? Should we track ownership of firearms?
As director of ATF, my position is if it's in the law, we follow it.
If I want to sell a gun that I currently own to a friend in Texas, do I need a license?
So getting into the specifics of the rule, which is in litigation. So first of all,
this ought to be a really simple question.
I understand. So you look at the totality of the circumstances. If we're talking about an isolated sale from somebody who is not engaged in the business of dealing firearms, you don't need a license.
All right. So if I, a citizen, this country, I live in Texas, I have a weapon and I want to sell it to a fellow Texan, on an isolated basis, do I need a license?
Again, if you are not engaged in the business of selling firearms, those are Congress's words.
If I post a sale for a firearm last year, okay, and I do that on some relevant website like TexasGunTrader.com, and I sell that weapon, I sell it for $500, and then I inherit a gun from my dad or from my uncle, and I inherited it last month, and it's like 6 months later, and I sell it, for another profit. I sell it for $500. And then less than a year later, I have another weapon that I inherit or I've got and I decide I don't need anymore and I sell it. Is that engaging in the business? Is that engaging in activity that means I need a license?
I think pursuant to the clear language of Congress in doing this and to the things we've said in the rule, we specifically mentioned inheritance as one of the things that is not indicative of engaging in the business.
What if I have just 12, what if I have 12, 15, or 20 weapons and I sell 3 over the course of a year?
I'm sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt.
No, I'm just saying, if I have about 50, let's assume I had 15 or 20 weapons and I wanted to sell 3 over the course of a year.
I think I'd
like to make money on it.
My reaction to what you're saying is that you look at it's very clear that you look at the totality of the circumstances. We can go through an endless series of hypotheticals. Hypotheticals aren't the way we address cases.
Do you understand, and I realize I'm over my time, do you understand why the average citizen sitting out there saying I've got 400 pages of rulemaking might not understand what they are allowed to do under the law when the director of the ATF can't look at a member of Congress and tell me yes or no emphatically whether or not if I sell a weapon or 2 weapons or 3 weapons or 5, whether or not I need a license? Do you think that's the way the law ought to be or the rules?
Respectfully, I believe that the rule that we have promulgated provides way more information and clarity than
400 pages?
Than just the 1 or 2 sentences that Congress provided. And we were seeing
you
massive
can't even answer it. How can the average American know it?
We are in the business of knowing, and we would look at the whole case, and we would determine based on the, I'm sorry, Mr. Chairman.
Gentlelady from North Carolina.